beautiful butterfly friends. I'm going to read a very important book. It's called One Good Deed by Terry Fields. So, let's start. One Good Deed. Even on sunny days, Lancaster Street seemed dark and gloomy. Neighbors did not smile at each other, or talk to each other, or help each other. But one day, as Jake climbed his mulberry tree to pick up its ripe fruit, he saw old Mrs. Thompson outside her house next door. Suddenly, he had a thought he had never thought before. I bet she's sad she can't climb trees. I could take her some of these delicious mulberries. This page, sorry. When Jake arrived, Mrs. Thompson was surprised. She was delighted she had enough fruit to make 2 mulberry pies. Working on her pies. Then she had a thought she'd never had thought before. I love getting these mulberries. I bet Mr. Riley next door will like one of my pies. When Mrs. Thompson arrived, Mr. Riley was surprised. Mr. Riley was delighted. As he ate this delicious pie, he looked out the window and watched the kids next door playing ball. Suddenly, he saw the ball land on the roof of his garage. Then he had a thought he'd never thought before. I bet I could help them. I could take my ladder and get their ball. When Mr. Riley handed them back their ball, Jeffrey and Joshua were surprised. They were delighted. As they tossed it back and forth, they saw Mr. Lee hobbling on crutches to his front door. They had a thought they never had before. Mr. Lee can't rake the leaves in his yard, but we could. When the boys arrived with their rakes, Mr. Lee was surprised. Mr. Lee was delighted. Soon they were joined by Sammy Cohen from next door carrying a rake. My computer is broken, so I can't finish my homework. I'll help you rake. Then Mr. Lee had a thought he'd never thought before. I'm good at computers. Maybe I could fix Sammy's computer. When Mr. Lee arrived, the Cohens were surprised. The Cohens were delighted, and before you knew it, the computer was up and running again. When Mrs. Cohen sat down to check her email, she looked at her window and saw Ashley from next door riding a rusty old bike. When she had a thought she'd never had before. We have a practically new bike that Sammy had outgrown. It would be perfect for Ashley. When Mrs. Cohen arrived with the new bike, Ashley was surprised. Ashley was delighted. She rode her new bike around the neighborhood, waving and smiling and calling hello to all the neighbors. Isn't that nice? Saying hello to all the neighbors. The neighbors were surprised. The neighbors were delighted. Everyone waved and smiled right back. Soon, even one gray day, Lancaster Street seemed warm and sunny. How had that happened? No one knew. Aren't they all smiling faces and happy? Not even Jake realized that it had all begun with a basket of mulberries and one mitzvah, one good deed. Look at all the mitzvah and the good deed they have done. And the neighborhood is very happy now. The end. In class, we studied about doing good things to one another and being kind to one another. So I hope you will enjoy this book, and it's going to teach you a lot about your family and your friends and your neighbors. Hi, my beautiful butterfly friends. I read a book today called A Good Deed, and this book talks about young kids doing good deeds to their neighborhood that they didn't know. So it gave me an idea to make cards for my neighbors that I don't know. So, and I'm sure that you can do the same, or I hope you can do the same for your neighbors and friends, or maybe your cousins, your sibling. And so I just wanted to show you a few cards that I made for my neighbors. So I made this card. This one talks about the whole world. This one. Kindness is free. And be kind to others. So I'm taking this one as an example because it's so easy to make. You just take a piece of construction paper that I cut in two, which is this, and I just did like little half circles all the way, all around it, that piece of paper. Like this. So it's not very complicated. I'm sure you can do it. You see? Like that. I took yellow, but you can take any other color that you like. And I'm putting a color, the yellow, outside the line. So really outside the line, just like this. Very easy. It's easy to make, and it takes what, few minutes to do, and I know you'll enjoy it. You see? And it's good with markers. It's a lot easier with markers than crayons. I try to use crayons, but it's not as nice. So you see? I put all yellow all around it without going over the line. And you can either paint, you can do flowers, you can make anything you like, anything you want, you can write anything. And you can also write, be kind to others. So I'm using the purple because I know you like purple. So be kind to others. You can use different color markers to write each letter, and or different colors for each word, whichever makes you happy. And then you can, I am sure that if you give it to someone that you like or someone you don't know, it will make them smile. So we are going to go. I'm going to go now to my neighborhood, and I'm going to distribute all these cards. I'm going to put them in each mailbox. Okay? Hi, this is Ellen. She lives by herself, and she's very nice. She invited us also when we first came to the neighborhood to welcome us and make friends. So I'm going to put the card in her mailbox. Like I said, I did a good deed. I'm going to put this in her mailbox. This is Cheryl, my neighbor, and she's the first lady in my neighborhood when I first moved here that invited us for Shabbat. So she did a good deed. So it's my turn to say thank you.
À côté.
I'm going to my other neighbor.
Ah, tu peux mettre dans la boîte là.
Just going to put this in her mailbox. This is Holland's house, and Holland is a retired architect. You know what retired means? It means that he doesn't work anymore. He's retiring. He's like on vacation because he's over 65. And I did a good deed one day because when he was sick, I made him some soup, some chicken soup as a matter of fact, and because he couldn't walk very much. So I did a deed, and sometimes he calls me, so he does a good deed too. So I'm gonna put this card in his mailbox. I'm sure it's gonna make him smile because I put my name on it, so he knows.